to me, it's just quick math, yeah? That's all science is to me, and the people, it's what I love about doing these events. I see some familiar faces, people have come back, so I know there's people in here that have seen me break down science in a very simplified way. But I'm curious, because I do see some unfamiliar faces. Who's never been to a Hidden Science Academy event before? Show of hands. 14. Wow. Wow. For those people who have never been to a Hidden Science Academy event before, I've got one thing to say to you.
You're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today.
So what are you gonna learn today?
So no matter me care. How can I wonder? Science. Science again. Science again. Hubakaba. Science again. Science again. Science again. Hubakaba. Science again. Them is me enemy, and I go like my friend. But telling them the same thing, it can't work again. I tell it to me enemy, I tell it to me friend. How can I wonder? Science again. Science again. Science again. Hubakaba. Science again. Science again. Science again. Hubakaba. Science again. All entertainer, watch on yourself. All producer, watch on yourself. All street side seller, watch on yourself. All arcade seller, watch on yourself. Them I like how we are prosper, them prophecy disaster. Hubakaba, science again. Them I like how we are prosper, them prophecy disaster. How can I wonder? Science again, science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again, science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again. Just wet up your stall when them throw them hope, yeah. Wet up your gate when them plant them hope, yeah. Spray out your car before you drive it gonna further. Tell it to me sister, tell it to me brother. This a serious thing, nobody take it for no laughter. Science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again, science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again. Them is me enemy, and I go like my friend. But till them the same thing, it can't work again. I tell it to me enemy, I tell it to me friend. How can I wonder? Science again, science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again, science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again. Some go a 80, but the goods them go buy. But when they check it out, man, the science them a try. Some go a Clarendon, some go a Westmoreland. Them a travel up and down all over the land. After we are work so hard, we put money in a we hand. Them a try to change up the father plan. So come science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again, science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again. Them is me enemy, and I go like my friend. But till them the same thing, it can't work again. I tell it to me enemy, I tell it to me friend. How can I wonder? Science again.
Absolutely fantastic, loved it. I've learned so much. It was humorous as well. So and the way the information was broken down was amazing. And I definitely will be coming back to more of the hidden science events because yeah, I learned so much, and I'm just so grateful to be able to be a part of it and experience it.
That's very good, very interesting, really good, very inspiring, and I would recommend it to anyone to come, and we will come back again. Absolutely.
Well, I thought the event was fantastic. I thought the delivery was fantastic. The presentation, the breaking down of complex ideas so that everybody could feel involved and can participate was exceptional. And the interaction with the video material was superb.
I was highly recommended.
Hidden science, man. Hidden science.
Science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again, science again, science again. Hubakaba, science again, science again, science again. How can I wonder? Science again.
So, the more we start to study self, study our own history, the more we'll start to realize that gang culture or gang violence is not black culture. It is not black culture. And the more we start to study our own history, the more we'll truly gain knowledge of self. And when we gain knowledge of self, we'll naturally drop anything that doesn't pertain to self. We'll naturally drop anything that doesn't pertain to self. Like we'll be walking around and just drop it. And people will be like, excuse me, you dropped something. What did I drop? I think you dropped your culture. My culture? Yeah. Oh, wait, let me check. Hold on a second. Torture. gang violence, war, rape, pedophilia, cannibalism. Nah, this is your culture, right? I picked it up by mistake. Take it back. Welcome everyone, greetings. Welcome to the Hidden Science Academy. My name is Leon Marshall and welcome everyone. And this is our Black Holistic Health monthly free lectures. So if this is your first time here, welcome. We're gonna tell you all about, the things that we've got coming up. Big up the people in the chat, greetings. Big up everyone who's locked in right now. We've got so much coming up over the next couple of weeks that I wanna, share with you today. But before I do any of that, let me go through my introduction because I've got some very special guests, joining me tonight. Yeah, we've got Charles from Ankh. He's going to be talking about CBD. CBD is like a buzzword. A lot of people talking about CBD. Charles is going to be breaking down the science with regards to CBD oil, how it can help with anxiety, how it can help with pain and that sort of stuff. We've got Jamesia Monroe. I hope I said your name right. Jamesia Monroe from Kemunity Yoga. She's going to be breaking down how to eliminate fibroids naturally and how to eliminate cysts naturally and just how to love yourself, self-love and self-care and that sort of stuff. Don't want to miss that. And then later on, we've got a Hidden Science Academy favorite with you guys who are always asking for him, Sahu, Shen. He's going to be breaking down endocannabinoids. Now, if you've never heard of the endocannabinoid system, this is going to blow you away. Yeah. So just make sure you tune in right to the end, catch all of those powerful lectures. It's a Q&A session as well. So we're going to get you guys to, ask your questions. We're going to try and get everyone's questions answered tonight. So much to go through. Let me just quickly do my intro as well. Coming up next month, because we had to postpone it, is the Hidden Science of Pain. We've got a pain relief course starting next month. It's actually starting on the 5th of May. The 5th of May, we're starting a pain relief course. And the pain relief practitioners are going to be Sahu Shen and Krista Straker. These are two Black professional physiotherapists who are going to teach you how to relieve pain, just pain relief techniques in the comfort of your own home. It's going to be all through Zoom, and they'll show you techniques that you can do at home, either just using your hands or a foam roller or even a massage ball, like a tennis ball or something like that. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be a very, very powerful course. Yeah. And why are we putting on a course like this, the Hidden Science of Pain? Well, if you go online, they'll tell you that most diseases, inflammation is the root cause. They'll tell you that with most diseases, if you was to do some research and find out why that person, why that disease manifested in that person, you'll find that the root cause of most diseases is inflammation. Isn't that interesting? And it's hard to argue. You'll find that most of these diseases that people suffer from, obviously joint issues, but things like high blood pressure, that could be because of inflammation in your blood vessels. So if you can relieve pain and inflammation in your body, you could literally get rid of a lot of the diseases that they say Black people suffer from. So that's the pain relief course. That is starting the 5th of May. And my sister will post the link, or she can just post the link to the website, thehiddenscienceacademy.com. You can find out more about that. So that's all I've got to tell you about. I've actually got something else to tell you about, but I'm going to wait until the end of, or near the end of the webinar to reveal something. I've got something very, very special to reveal to everyone near the end of this webinar. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first special guest. Let me just check to see if he's there. All right. So yes, my first special guest is Charles from Ankh, and Charles is going to tell you about CBD, but he's also going to tell you about the products that he sells. Very powerful products. people that have been following me, you know that I use a lot of his products, especially his moringa oil. So over to my good brother, Charles. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
I'm very well, man. I'm very well. Excited to hear what you got to say about CBD, man. A lot of people have been talking about it. It's the buzzword. It's been the buzzword for a couple of years now. So I know a lot of people want to know how it can help them with, you know, pain, inflammation, and anxiety. So over to you, my bro.
Yes, we're gonna go into that. But first of all, I have to big up Leon Marshall and big up Vanika Marshall, the founders of the Hidden Science Academy, doing a great bit of work in the community. Now, for those who have never seen me before, I'm Charles. I'm going to give you a quick rundown about me. I'm the director of Ankh Limited. I myself at one stage was going through health issues and being running basically from the doctor to specialists. And, you know, put it in a nutshell, after 2.5 years, which is 1 year's running to the specialist told me they can no longer help me. I'm going to be prone with a condition for life. I was devastated because I'm sure you can imagine when you're relying on these specialists to help you and they turn around and tell you they can no longer help you, what are you going to do? I was just fortunate that a friend introduced me to a herbalist. After 2 days with the herbalist, I saw a difference. After 1 month with the herbalist, I was cured. And that's when I realized what I wanted to do, because I thought, how many other people are going to go to the doctors and the specialists to be told they'll have conditions for life and just accept it, when, like in my case, that may not be true. So I created a company called Ankh, because I wanted to be the go-to person when people have problems and are let down by the what's out there for them to go to, the doctors and the hospitals. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not knocking them because they are useful. You know, I've had a broken nose and they've repaired that for me. You know, and I had to do that at the hospital. There's no one that could put my nose back together, just like Leon after being in a car accident going through a windscreen. But I'm going to start my presentation now so you can all see what my passion is about helping others. I've been through it myself and I know what it's like. Right, so today my presentation, as Leon mentioned earlier, is about aiding pain relief with natural supplements, CBD, and a surprise thing for you at the end of my presentation, also the neurotech, what's available that will be able to help with your health. Now at Ankh, we've got a product called the red algae. Now this product here, many customers have reported relief in their joints from pain when using this red algae. It contains calcium, magnesium, zinc, iron, iodine, selenium. It's basically got over 70 trace minerals. And, you know, it's easily absorbable by the body because it's on a cellular level. Now, we've had so many great testimonies from customers, and you can find this product at www.ankra.com. Now, we're going to let a customer tell you the things they were going through and what the red algae done for them. Hi, what's your name?
Cindy.
Okay, Cindy, you've been using the Ankra products?
That's correct.
Could you tell us why you started using the Ankra products?
Because my knee was in very bad pain and I've got a really bad
Inflammation.
That's correct.
Okay.
I spoke to you to find out if there's anything you could recommend for it. And you recommended red algae.
Okay.
And I've been taking 2 a day. I'd say going to be my 3rd bottle.
So tell me something, what problems was you having before you took the red algae? Was there any difficulties with the knee?
Very, very painful. As I said, the swelling. Really, it was like the knife being stabbed into my knee. And I had that for about 2 months before I started taking the red algae.
Okay.
then when I've been taking them for the last, say, 2 months, I find I have no pain in the day, the swelling's gone down, and the only pain I get is when I'm laying down at night, but I've been on my feet by then for 10, 11 hours. I'm on my feet from 8 o'clock in the morning and to, I'd say, 9 o'clock in the night. Throughout the day, I'm not getting the pain now, but once I'm indoors, I'm in bed and relaxing, I do get slight pain, but I think that is because I've been on my legs, or actually on my knee all day.
Have you found any side effects or anything negative with the product?
Nothing at all, nothing.
Oh,
I'm very happy with them.
Okay. When you had the problem, was you trying to do your daily job with the problem?
Yes, I was. I was in agony. That's really killing me.
Okay.
That's why I know that these tablets are definitely working.
How long did it take, once taking these, to realise that there was a change?
A week and a half. Okay. Then I started feeling not so much, but I'd say all in all about 2.5 weeks, when I think that's when they start to kick in, because I think it was about 2.5 weeks when I started not to feel so much pain throughout the day. And now I don't feel sort of no pain throughout the day.
Did you get any chance at all to rest the knee while taking the product?
No, because I'm on my feet Monday to Friday from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night until I get home.
So you basically had to work through the issue?
Definitely. I had no choice. I run a vegan shop and I'm the only chef.
What's the name of your shop?
Sauces, 107 Dulwich Road.
Excellent.
Hill.
Okay, Cindy. Well, thanks for your testimony.
I recommend all your customers to try it, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one way of helping
Cindy,
yourself.
thank you very much. You're welcome.
That's one way of helping yourself with joint pain. Hi, what's your name? Whoops, what's going on there? Right. So I'm going to move on from there to CBD oil, okay, and the contents of CBD oil. Now, it's got cannabinoids, which is basically, it's like vitamins, okay, and it connects with the endocannabinoid, which is a system within your body, okay. Also, you have THC, which is another cannabinoids, excuse me, okay? So CBD, it comes from the marijuana plant, and you can also get CBD from the hemp plant, okay? The benefits of CBD. Common benefits that we'll find with CBD is that it aids with sleep, it aids with seizures, aids with muscle pain, and it's an anti. So there's many ways that you can use the oil to be effective. You can take this internally, and you can take it and rub it onto wherever you're feeling pain, because if it's natural and it's a good source, it will absorb through your skin into the area where the pain is. And a great way to do that is just apply a bit of heat to it, and it penetrates is very good through the skin. A lot of people are looking at CBD, and there's a lot of talk going on about the different types of CBD. So at the moment, they've got out on the market full spectrum. Full spectrum, that's the whole plant. To me, that is the natural. That's the best one, full spectrum. They've got broad spectrum out there on the market, which is THC, which is being removed. Okay, so it's not really that natural. And they've got another one term out there that you'll come across called isolate, which is a concentrate. So the cannabinoids have been isolated in this one. Okay, again, this is not, it's single cannabinoids in this one. It's not one that I would really recommend. And then on the market, a lot of people come to me and they says, okay, what percentage is your CBD? Now this percentage thing, it's totally marketing, okay? It's when you hear percentages, you really want to run, you know, because as far as I'm concerned, if you put in the whole plant in there, that's 100%. That's what the percentage should be. This percentage is just a money-making strategy. So you can sell 5% for X amount of money, 10% for X amount of money. So if it's, for instance, I don't know, just go 30% to make it sound high. This has got 30%. Then what is the other 70%? So when you hear percentages, you know, I already know that this is just a marketing strategy and they're just trying to get their products out there and sell them for different money, make a load of money. If anyone's in the group, anyone's online here and they've used something with percentages and got results, I mean, put a 1 in the chat, let us know. It'll be very interesting. But I don't see where you're going to really be getting any benefits from these ones that's marked percentages when they're basically just marketing and it's a money-making strategy. Another thing what they speak about out there is like hemp versus marijuana, you know, because as I mentioned earlier, you can get from the hemp, you can get CBD, and marijuana plant, you can get CBD. So a question out there, which is always asked, is which one's better? Hemp has a higher CBD content, would you believe it? Marijuana has a higher THC. THC is what gives you the high, okay? THC is also another cannabinoid, okay? And you have over 150 different cannabinoids, okay, in CBD. So basically, when you get a CBD that's high in THC and you take this internally, you're going to find that this will, you know, probably make you feel sleepy, you know, it will relax you that you go to sleep, you know, it will make you feel high, okay? And there has been people that have taken a CBD that's high in THC. There is one that you may have come across that they're normally in some kind of a test tube and it's really black and thick and tarry, where you just put a little speck under your tongue and, you know, you can feel, you know, the high in this one. It's also very useful for pain relief, okay? So it relaxes the body, you know, and, you know, a lot of people that's been feeling pain, they've said they haven't felt any pain once taking this. But on the negative side of this one, people are saying that, you know, they don't smoke or they don't normally drink. And when they take this one, they wake up in the morning and they're still feeling high, you know, and throughout the day, it's like they're fighting this high. Some describe it as they get up through the day and there's still this zombie effect. So it's basically on what kind of result are you looking for? Now, the hemp for me, that is the healer. You know, the hemp, it is powerful, but if you're looking for the high, you will not get the high. Later on, we may speak about what happens when we cross the two. Now, organic hemp. This is a picture of me in the middle of a hemp farm, okay? This is over 40 acres of hemp. You'll get lost. When you're in the middle where I am there, you don't even remember which way you came from. So I do have a connection to some very powerful hemp, okay? And it's 100% organic. How do I know? Well, there I am in the middle of the field. So I know everything about the source of any CBDs that I may be connected to or be able to help you to connect to. And that's the contact number if you're looking for a very good quality CBD. Now, neurotech. This is another, you know, what I've got is amazing, and you can heal your pain with neurotechnology, okay? And I'm gonna let you see what's happened. You know, it's just a day, I believe it was on a weekend, I was just getting some food, you know, and happened to hear a young man screaming about some pain in his arm. So I'm going to let you see what happened next.
Yeah, please. Or is it Irish mouse?
Yeah.
Irish mouse is in it?
Yeah, you got that it, it's got oaks and it's all different.
Right.
Yeah?
Well, I just take the topping over.
Are you ready?
Yeah, man. Ready.
Yeah, so we got, what's the problem, man? Lab before last week, asking them last weekend about this. I don't know. You had to come off, man. Okay. And where's the pain right now? All right, back here. Maybe. Okay. Back. And limit in the movement. Okay, so you can't really do that. I'm going to do a quick demonstration now. I'm going to strengthen your balance and recovery in 7 seconds. So if you turn this way, yeah, lock your hands to either side. Okay, full of this. Right, chest out, head up. I'm going to just test for your balance. Yeah, so resist, don't allow me. Yeah, balance guy, feel it? Right, I'm going to do one more time. Notice the tension of your balance is there. That balance, yeah? Alright, your feet together. Lock your hands against your chest. Head up. Test where your balance is right before. Is your balance there? Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm going to improve for that and your movement. Let's see how far you can do your arm at the speed from here. This arm. Let's see how. Alright. So, this is neurotechnology. It's 100% natural. Okay. This is 24 hours. This will last. So this time tomorrow, you have to take it off. Yeah? Right. So the first thing what this is going to do is improve your balance and the strength, and then the next thing you do after that is sort out that shoulder. Yeah, so it's going to take 7 seconds now. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Snap your feet slightly further apart. Lock down to your side again. Right, head up, chest. Right, come towards this. You ready? You see that? Put in more force if you're not going. Yeah? So just. Yeah? Alright, feet together and up against the chest. Yeah, yeah. Alright, you ready? Now before I was just using one hand. Yeah, I'll just bring this before you balance and stuff. Now you're going to take half my body weight as well. Strength is improved. Yeah? That's your hand. Just do the movement with your hand now.
Pain free. By the time I finish getting served, it'll be alright.
Right, as you can see there, he's stunned. The pain in his arm is reduced significantly. Right, so that's the neurotechnology, and basically how it works, it puts the brain in homeostasis, which means it sends a natural signal throughout the body of balance, and your brain is connected to everywhere in your body. So there are many different ways, you know, that we can heal pain. So some of you may want to go down the CBD route, okay? Some of you, you know, may want to use red algae. Some may want to use the neurotechnology. But one thing that I will just touch slightly, because I know it's going to be mentioned later, is about the endocannabinoids in the CBD, yeah, which see endocannabinoids in the body, which are the receptors in the body that picks up cannabinoids from the CBD. Okay, you've got endocannabinoids in the brain, yeah, your nervous system, all over the body. So that's just touching back to the CBD. Now, what's new in Ankh? We've now got a body scan that can scan the body. So we can pick up at places where you may be feeling pain and basically see how the body's operating. You know, and this scan here, as you can see, it scans the whole body, scans the knee, the elbow, scans from the brain right down to your toe. So if anyone out there needs a body scan, you know, you can contact the number below and we can arrange to get a body scan so we can see exactly what is wrong within the body and then we can know how to correct and what nutrients you will need, or or what kind of a detox you'll need to be able to function. All right, so you can stay in touch with Ankh. Okay, there's all my contact details, and I do have a connection to a very powerful CBD, as I said. And this CBD is a bit different from the rest out there because it's a CBD that's got moringa extracts in it, which takes the whole way it works to another level. So we've had some good feedback on it. So anyone who's interested in it, I've got a connection that I can connect you to. All you got to do is get in contact. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen there. Okay, so that one was short and sweet. I know that we're going to go further into the CBD later on. But if anyone's got any questions there, I'm here for. Is it question time?
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Oh, One, two. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's go into. Let's go into the Q&A. All right, sorry about that, family. I've got my 2 laptops open just so I can check your questions and answers, but we're going to go through it right now. So anyone who's got questions, I can see there's a couple questions in the section. However, I'd like for you guys to ask your questions live. We will try and get to the Q&A section, but I'd like for you guys to ask your questions live. So what we're going to do, like we always do, is we're going to allow you guys to go live and ask your question. All you need to do is raise your hand. So in Zoom, there's a section where you can raise your hand. And if you raise your hand, we will come to you and allow you to talk, and then you can ask your question about anything. Yeah. All right. So I can see a couple hands raised. So Diane, if you can unmute your mic and ask your question, sis.
Oh, hi, Charles and Leon. Charles, I wanted to know, what's the mechanism of the the little patch that you put on that actually work?
It's just a pattern that resonates frequency. So the nearest description to it is a pattern almost like your thumbprint. Okay, and you've got neuroreceptors all over your body, especially the sole of the feet and the palm of the hands. So what it does, your neuroreceptors recognizes that frequency and that pattern, and it sends a signal up the nervous system, which goes to the brain, but puts the brain in a mode called homeostasis. Once the brain is in homeostasis, it sends a signal to the core stem of the brain, which connects to everywhere in the body. So it's sending that feeling of balance throughout the body.
Okay, and is this something that, in order for that to happen, I have to be wearing that constantly, or is it something that I have to wear consistently, or is it something I can wear for like a couple of weeks and then not wear it for a little while and then go back to it?
Well, it's something that you would wear until the body starts to function in that way, and whatever it is you're wearing it for, yeah, it will, once you're feeling a lot better, the body's functioning that way, then you can wear it when you really need to. I mean, it comes in a socks form as well, which I personally wear because it helps with focus, concentration, and if you're training at a gym, it will give you more energy and strength. As you saw in the DVD, when I was trying to rock the guy forward, he was stronger.
Okay, great.
Thank you, sis.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Anthony.
Hi. Hello.
How you doing, brother?
I'm fine, brother. How are you?
I'm very well. What's your question?
How does inflammation affect diabetes?
How does
inflammation
affect diabetes? What
That,
how does that work? Is inflammation can cause diabetes?
yeah,
well,
so if you've
inflammation.
got,
Okay,
go
go
on,
ahead.
Charles.
Inflammation, you know, is what you get into the joints, and that can be caused by like a buildup of like mucus.
Right.
Okay, and if you've got something in between your joints and you're trying to move your joints, obviously you're going to be feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's in the joints. And then with regards to diabetes, if you've got inflammation in your blood vessels, remember your blood's trying to carry oxygen and nutrients to your muscles and everything else that needs oxygen in your body. So if you've got inflammation in your blood vessels, that's going to stop the transfer of sugar from your blood to the cells.
Oh,
that's what they call insulin resistance.
Right, yes.
Where there's a resistance around the cell and now the sugar can't get in.
Right.
Yeah. That's inflammation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's a blockage.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Let's move on. There's a couple other hands raised. So Calder, is it Calder?
Yes, Calder. Greetings.
Greetings.
Greetings. Yeah. The brother mentioned the scan machine, you know, to scan your body to see what kind of problems you have with any sort of block signals to body to give you pain and that. How does it work exactly? And is there any side effects, or is it like X-rays, or is it some kind of beam or laser? And does it affect your body?
It's just working with frequency, so it's picking up the frequency from your body, okay, based on what your height and weight is. So that frequency, you know, everything is frequency. Your body operates on a frequency. So it's the measured frequency of all the organs within the body. And according to your weight and your height, your organs should be functioning at a certain rate.
Okay.
Also scans the joints, and we can see if there's problem areas in the joint.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, I'll give thanks to that.
All right.
Cheers.
All right, there's quite a few questions in the Q&A, brother Charles, but I'm going to allow you to go through them because a lot of them are directed to you with regards to contacts, with regards to the CBD oil and how much for the body scan and that sort of stuff. There are a couple questions that I'd like to address though. So for example, someone mentioned that certain things didn't work for them and they were asking, what else can I take? Now, obviously, supplements do help as well, but this is the reason why we've put together the course. So let me just tell people how to book onto the course. If you go to thehiddenscienceacademy.com, thehiddenscienceacademy.com, my sister will post the link in the chat, and you go to course access, go to pain relief. Now remember, for the people who have been following the Hidden Science Academy, if you're a VIP member, which is very easy to become a VIP member, just click on membership and become a VIP member, either monthly or yearly. If you become a VIP member, you get access to everything for free. So everything that we've done in the past, black hair, black women's health, you get all of these courses, pain relief course, black holistic health course. We've got a white supremacy course starting soon as well. You get all of this for free. So if you're a member or you want to pay for the course, click on pain relief, watch this video. It will tell you about the pain relief practitioners and what they're going to be doing on the course. And then you either buy if you're not a member or access the free course if you are a member. And it tells you everything about the course there. Now, with regards to pain, just taking stuff won't be enough to get rid of pain. I can tell you from my own experience, and I'm sure Charles and everyone else that I'm going to bring on the panel, just taking supplements is not going to be enough for you to get rid of pain. You're going to have to do something. So that's the reason why we put together that course, so we can show you. It'll be Sahu and Christos, who are professional black physiotherapists, who will show you techniques that you could do in the comfort of your own home. It's a revolutionary course. I don't think there's ever been a course like it where physiotherapists can show you how to relieve pain in the comfort of your own home without touching you. Powerful stuff. So if you're interested in that course, book onto that course. It's starting the 5th of May. But just go to that link and watch that video. It will tell you everything about the course. Let me just see if there's any other hands raised before I go on to my next special guest. Oh, yep, there is. So Majestic, if you want to unmute your mic and ask your question. Majestic? No? One last try. Okay, I'll take one more. Cassandra, if you can unmute your mic and ask your question, your hand's raised. Cassandra.
Okay, I've actually put my question in the Q&A, so I'll leave it to somebody else this time.
All right, no worries. Thank you. All right, so thanks a lot, Charles. Charles will stick around, so he's going to be on the panel for questions later on, but we're going to move on to our next special guest now. So thank you, Charles. Thanks for that.
Okay,
very powerful stuff. Yes, brother. Very powerful stuff with regards to CBD. And he did mention endocannabinoids, which is what Sahu's going to be talking about later. Yeah. Can you imagine, like, just think about this. There's a system in our body that no one talks about where there's receptors, and they're called cannabinoids or endocannabinoid receptors. And they receive what they call cannabinoids. And cannabinoids can be found in our body and in the hemp plant, in the cannabis plant. Now, why would the Most High, for those people who believe in the Creator, God, why would he put things in plants, especially plants like cannabis and hemp and that sort of stuff, that interact with our endocannabinoid system? Just think about that. Anyway, Sahu's going to be talking about that later. Very, very powerful stuff. Can't wait for that. But I'm going to move on to my next special guest now. And before so I'm going to lower everyone's hands. Let me see if I can. Okay. So on to my next special guest. She's not actually in the panelist, so I'm going to make her a panelist right now. All right. So my next special guest is Jamesia Monroe from Kemunity Yoga, and she's going to be talking to you about self-love. It's going to be a very powerful lecture. So get your questions ready. Make sure your ears are open. Self-love and how to relieve, certain pains that Black women go through. So over to you, sis.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Jamesia, aka James IA. I'm your motivational holistic health coach, and I'm just a vessel to provide you with the necessary tools to make sure that your mind operates in a state of consciousness, your spirit stays lit, and your body is snatched to the gods in every way you wish. Welcome, everyone. Greetings, everyone. I am Jamesia. It would not be me if I did not come in with that intro. There is nothing conventional about me, just to let y'all know. I do not have a traditional presentation. I'm just here to speak to you, to connect with you, and to get to know y'all a little better and tell my story. Greetings, greetings. Before I jump in, I want to set the intentions for today. My intention for today is to expand your consciousness about yourself and your place within the world. Today, I'm going to talk about encouraging self-love through the sacral chakra. I'm going to provide you with 3 steps you can make to take your power back. And before I jump in, I have a free gift for y'all. And the gift is to help you recognize any blockages, any chakras that are blocked within yourself. And this will help you recognize those blockages. I'm going to post this in the chat right now.
As the sisters posting that, just welcome Jamesia onto the platform. For people who have never been onto the platform before, we put ones in the chat. One just represents one love, put some ones in the chat, represent. Let's welcome the sis from across the pond. Put some ones in the chat. Let's welcome her onto the platform. First time on the Hidden Science Academy. Show some love. Thank you very much. Over to you.
I really appreciate it. Yes, I am in the States, y'all. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So thank you for the love. I feel it. I appreciate it. So today I'm going to talk about encouraging self-love through the sacral chakra. And I'm going to give you 3 steps of how you can take your power back. So, and this leads into the question, what are chakras? Chakras is a Sanskrit word that translates into the phrase wheels of energies. We have 7 main wheels of energy that make up our life force and connect us to everything in the universe. It's associated with different aspects of our lives. So it's safe to say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And if you've heard of the saying, as above, so below, as within, so without, this is what that is referring to. What we deal with on the inside manifests normally on the outside world. And the chakra system is an ancient holistic system that was used by our ancestors in ancient Kemet. It's widely known to be used today by yogis because yoga is one way it's a one healing modality to help you balance your chakras. Contrary to popular belief, the first yoga system was practiced in ancient Kemet. The reason why people don't know that the fact that it began in Kemet was the fact that in the ancient texts, you cannot find the word yoga anywhere. They did not use the word yoga in ancient Kemet. The word that they used for yoga was Sima or Simatali, which means the union of the two lands. So, and you can find them practicing yoga on the walls of the pyramids today in the temples. So I thought that that was a fun fact that I mentioned for the people who weren't aware of that. So in regards to the chakras, the ancient Kemites, or our ancestors, knew that in order to determine the health of a person, they have to be mentally, physically, and spiritually well. You can't have one without the other. And that's how they were able to determine the health of a person. And not only is the chakra system a spiritual health system, but it's a physical one as well. It connects to our endocrine system. And our endocrine system is made up of a group of glands that secrete hormones into the bloodstream. And then it sends messages to the cells, to the different parts of the body to tell it what to do. The purpose of the endocrine system is to help control our metabolism, our growth, our development, our mood, blood pressure, our sleep patterns, sexual function, just to name a few. And it's a very powerful system that it helps us dictate and determine if someone is truly healthy. So today I'm going to focus on the sacral chakra today. And the sacral chakra represents our creativity, sexuality, sensuality. It represents our emotions and our divine feminine energy. So I want to ask y'all a question. Why do you think Black women are disproportionately ranked higher for heart disease, diabetes, stroke, uterine fibroids, and non-cancerous cysts on their ovaries compared to any other group of women? And I just want y'all to answer that. Just tell me why do you think this is so? Genes. Someone said genes, food, high stress, diet, food. We keep stress on the inside, levels of stress, broken hearts, depression, diet. All of these you're absolutely correct. Everything that you all are saying right now in the chat is absolutely correct. Thank you for participating as well. I want to tell y'all a quote by Malcolm X, one of my favorite quotes. And there's a reason why. The most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. And the most neglected person in America is the Black woman. Now, this applies to America, but I do believe that it applies to all other places all over the world. Black people, wherever Black people are, this applies because racism exists. It's just covert in some places and overt in others. In America, it's prevalent that we are dealing with racial injustices every single day. And I know everyone knows that. So I can only speak on my experience as a Black woman in America. So Black women in America, we deal with racial inequality, pay inequality, socioeconomic disparities, health disparities, rape, sexual abuse, trauma, disrespect, infidelity, just to go home to be the mothers, the doctors, the taxi drivers, the cooks, the therapists, and teachers for our families. We are everything for everyone except for ourselves. And then we're left depleted. We're left empty and full of stress, hurt, anger, and resentment. And stress, it starts in our root chakra. I'm not really going to dwell on that today, but in regards to the stress, that's associated to our adrenals and our endocrine system. And stress produces the cortisol. And cortisol, when you're in a chronic state of stress for a long periods of times, your body can end up looking for other resources to pull from stress because of being in a long state of stress period. And then, so what is impacted is your womb, and that is our sacral chakra. So because you're in a long state of stress or dealing with chronic stress and your cortisol hormone levels begin to lower, now your body's going to pull from your sex hormones, and it's going to pull from progesterone specifically. And progesterone and estrogen ends up balancing each other out. So if you're pulling from a progesterone, there creates an imbalance in your womb. And now there is a dominance, an estrogen dominance, which creates uterine fibroids and non-cancerous cysts in your ovaries. And it is known that Black women, we carry more fat in our bodies. So we naturally deal with these things. Now add in the fact that we're adding chronic stress for long period of times in our body. So I want to share with y'all a story just to make it make a little more sense. So for my personal story, for me, I grew up in a military family. And on top of that, I come from strong warrior women. So I came out of the womb being a strong Black woman, and I didn't know why. I came from a strong family. I did not come from an emotional, nurturing type of family. So I didn't know how to be that. So I moved in the world as a strong Black woman. And I found out later on as a child, the only way to get the love that I desired, the nurturing and emotions that I needed as a child, I would have to perform for love. So what would that look like for me? I would overachieve. I would make sure that I had good grades in school. I made sure that I stood out in my performances. I was responsible by having a part-time job and balancing my studies and grades at the same time. And this eventually led to people pleasing in my adult years. So now I'm performing for love for everyone in my life because I yearned and desired for the love that I needed for everyone, that I wanted that in return, the love that I gave. So I'm sitting here people pleasing, and I'm the strong Black woman, and everyone thinking that I'm okay, and yet I'm hurting inside. I'm hurting inside because they don't know, because I have this demeanor as if everything is okay. So what does this lead to? This led to stress. I learned to cope with I learned to be in a stressful state for long periods of time because I come from a toxic environment from childhood. So that was my norm to me. Always being in a state of stress was normal to me. And so eventually I ended up and found out in 2018 that I had cysts on my ovaries. And of course, they typically tell you to get a procedure done in order to remove those cysts from your ovaries. And I declined because I knew that everything inside of me told me that there's a holistic way of eliminating these cysts. I just didn't have the answer, but I was willing to do whatever it took to find the answer of how I can eliminate these cysts. So I deepened my studies, and at that time, I just began my nutrition education, my master's in nutrition education. So I was still learning while I was in that program, which led me to go to the gynecologist to find out what was wrong with me. So fast forward to, and before I move forward, on top of the fact that I had cysts on my ovaries, I dealt with long, heavy painful menstrual cycles that would last for 3 weeks at a time. So not only am I dealing with this and the cysts on my ovaries, you can imagine the state that I was always in. I was never new to depression. I was friends with depression because it impacted my relationships. It impacted my mental health and just my overall well-being. Fast forward to 2020, to the pandemic hit. And the pandemic in 2020 was the worst and best year of my life. And let me explain why. So my year did not start off on a great foot. However, in February was my birthday. My birthday's in February, and I had the best birthday ever. And when I came back from celebrating my birthday from Miami, my life 2 weeks later turned upside down. 2 weeks later, I found out that my cousin, he passed away from a seizure. My cousin was like a brother to me. He grew up in the same house with me and my siblings. I have a twin brother, so we considered him to be our third twin. And it was the most devastating news. We were all the same age. We went to school together. We worked together. We did almost everything together. So we took that hard, and it still feels weird to say that he's not here anymore. So after that, I come back from the day I get back from the funeral, the guy I was dating at the time, we ended up splitting at that day. After that day, the following week at work, I was met with challenges and issues, and I was on the verge of losing my job due to several warnings and write-ups to my name. After that, move forward, the week later, the pandemic hit. So now we're in quarantine and we're working from home now. And moving forward, fast forward from that, I'm 3 weeks behind on my last class in my master's degree program. I was dealing with so many things. I was still dealing with my menstrual cycles. I was not happy with myself. I felt unappreciated by my friends. I was not happy with my job or where I was in life. So that was the first time in my life that I hit rock bottom, and I could not fake the funk anymore. I could not be the strong Black woman that I knew myself to be. I was hurt, I was broken, I was torn, and I just felt like life couldn't get any worse. So fast forward to June, after meditating one day, I opened my eyes and my eyes landed on this book that was recommended to me by my elder. He recommended it to me like maybe a few months prior. I just never had the chance to get to it. So I went to the book, and it's a book called The Optimum Fast by Dr. Nana Kwaku Apare and Ama Apare. And I opened the book and started reading the pages, and I told myself, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is the reset that I need. Let me just start, taking care of myself, and let me just do something. I need a change, because the way my life is going, this is not, we're not getting anywhere. So I prepared for the entire week. I reached out to my family and friends, and I told them you won't hear from me. I just need this time for myself. I didn't want to communicate with anyone. I didn't want to be on social media or anything. I just wanted to be with me, myself, my ancestors, the creator, what have you. So I did that for a week, and I told myself I was going to do it for 7 days. So since I was doing it for 7 days, I decided to dedicate each day to each chakra, because again, there's nothing conventional about me. So I decided to take an extra step and add something to my fast. When I say within that 7 days, I had the most transformational experience ever in my life. I had the most transformational experience in my life. On one of the days, all of my wounds and traumas, demons and shadows and hurt and pain came up, and I came face to face with all of it. It was a very powerful and intense day, and it was like I was having an existential crisis, an identity crisis, and ego death all at the same time. But in short, I was having a spiritual awakening. In hindsight, 2020, that's what I was having. On another day, I lied to you not, I went to the restroom, and these crazy looking things came out of me. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I researched, I quickly Googled just to make sure. And I said, oh my goodness, these are my cysts. My cysts came out of me, y'all. I am not lying. I cried, I jumped up and down, I was happy. And as a byproduct, my cycle only lasted for 7 days. That was the shortest my cycle lasted from my entire life since I've had a menstrual cycle. So I know that may be a lot for some people, but for me, from going from 3 weeks to 7 days, I'll take that. On another day, I experienced another level of peace that I never experienced before. I was in complete ebb and flow with life. I was in harmony. I had so much peace inside of me. It felt like I was feeling the divine love from the creator directly into my soul. Just imagine someone hugging you from the inside. That's what it felt like. And at that time, after my 7 days of fast, I came to the realization that this was the first time that I've ever felt what true love felt like. I took all of the love that I would give to everyone, because I yearned so much to be loved the way I would love people, and I poured it into myself. And when I filled myself up, it was the best feeling ever. And I told myself, I said, I want other people to feel this. I want other people to feel this, because there are so many people that's hurting out here dealing with these health issues. I was able to heal myself, to activate the healer in me. Our body is self-healing within itself, but when you give your body a break on the things that we put into it, and the environments that we're constantly involving ourselves in, and we're always on go, and we remove ourselves from these stressful situations and the stressful foods that we put in our body, you will be surprised and amazed how the body will naturally follow suit and begin to heal. And so 2 months later, I quit my corporate job because I found my purpose. I've always knew that I want to help my people, but I specifically found what I want to do. So I created an 8-week chakra healing program. And my goal, and I am willing to dedicate the rest of my life to help Black women heal mentally, physically, and spiritually from all the traumas that we experienced in this lifetime. And I'm going to do that by any means necessary, because if you continue to live in a society that wants to keep you sick, then we will never be well if we don't take our power back. So I'm going to provide y'all with 3 quick steps of how to take your power back, and make sure y'all have something to write with. Step number 1 is to decide and make a decision that enough is enough, that you are tired of living the way that you're living and that you need a change. And when you make that decision, I want you to write down these 3 sentences. Write down, I am taking my power back. I am changing my life. I am putting myself first. And once you write this down, I want you to state this every single day until you create those words that you wrote down. And these now become affirmations and declarations. And when whatever you speak out of your mouth, our mouth is so powerful. Our tongue is powerful. Whatever we state, we can manifest. There's something in our brain called the reticular activating system, and it's usually triggered off of the words that we say. Our brain can't differentiate a lie from the truth. So what you say out of your mouth, your brain looks for ways to bring what you said into reality and to make it true. That's why when we go to the store or go to the car dealership and shop for a red car, when we leave, we see that exact same car everywhere. It's not the fact that this red car wasn't there before, it's the fact that you expanded your consciousnness about that red car by going to the dealership and specifically looking for that. And that's exactly what you're doing when you're stating and affirming yourself. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is we must change the way that we eat. Eat the food is energy, it's fuel for our body. So if you truly are in tune with your spirit, you can be in tune with your body. Our body is constantly communicating with us and we don't even know it. Like if you're not tapped in, our body is always talking to us. For example, when we deal with the stress due to everything that's going on, we tend to emotional eat, which is a disorder. So now we're eating foods or eating salty foods. Salty foods is connected to stress. When you gravitate towards salty foods, that means your body's coping mechanism of helping you deal with stress. And what is the issue for that? Your cravings means that there's a deficiency in your body. So when you have a deficiency, when you're dealing with stress, that means that you're either dealing with low electrolytes, you're dehydrated, you have an iodine deficiency, a chloride deficiency, and how do you balance that? You balance this with eating vitamin B rich foods such as fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds, whole grains, practice yoga, meditation, exercise, but most importantly, drink water. So this is your body communicating with you and you don't even know it. Your body is telling you, hey, I'm deficient, but you're like, okay, well, I need to eat something salty because I'm stressed right now. And that's the reason why. And then step number 3 is seek help. Seek a professional or someone to help you on your journey, to help you change your life. And I have a program that I'm offering today, my 8-week chakra healing program. And in the program, for you who the ones who are interested in the program, you will learn how to reduce your stress. You will learn how to fuel your body, fuel each chakras with the foods. So I'll teach you about the foods that are associated with each chakra to help heal and bring your chakras back into balance. You'll learn how to activate the healer from within and to heal your body. And I'll provide you with holistic health techniques you can lean on. You'll learn how to recognize which chakra is out of balance and how to bring that into balance, and the issues and the things that you're dealing with in your life at the moment, you'll be able to identify what chakra it's connected to. So that is all that I have for today. And if you have any questions, I am here. So
people, put your ones. How powerful was that? Show your appreciation. Please show your love for Jamesia. Put your ones in the chat. I know there was loads of questions. So we're going to go through some live questions now, like we did before. I know there's questions in the Q&A, but if you guys can raise your hand, I'm going to lower everyone's hands. If you've got a question that you want to ask live, that was a very powerful story that Jamesia shared with us, especially with regards to fasting and what happened at the end of the fast. Did you guys hear that? That was very powerful. At the end of the fast, that's when, you know, she released the cysts and the stuff came out of her. So that's a very powerful thing to think about with regards to health. A lot of people, when it comes to especially holistic health, they're like, oh, what should I take? What should I eat? What should I take? What supplement should I take? And can you imagine not taking anything might be the best thing? Just don't eat anything. Try and do a fast. Try and just drink water or green vegetable juice or something like that. Yeah, so I see there's a hand raised. Oh, I think they just put their hand down. If anyone wants to ask a question live, is there questions in the chat? Let me see. And Charles, I think there's some more questions in the chat. Let me see. If any question you find in the chat, if you can just type the answers for the panelists. Can we see this stream after it's finished? Yes, there will be a replay of this stream. So we've got your emails, everyone will be sent. Oh yeah, that's the question that everyone kept on asking. The name of the book and the author. Would you be able to put that in the chat?
I can do that now. And I don't know if you can hear me now, but it's The Optimum Fast by Dr. Nana Kwaku Apare and Apare. They, at the time they were married.
For some reason, it's just going to panelists, but I'll repost what you're posting. So if you want to post the name of the book and the author, I'll repost it to everyone. Oh, and Marva said, can you reiterate the 3 points? I think that's in the chat.
Oh, number one, decide.
Decide.
And then under number one was decide, write down, I am taking my power back. I am changing my life. And I am putting myself first. And then after that one is affirming that every day until it comes into reality. Number two was changing your diet, the food that you eat, you consume. And then number three, I don't know if I said 2 or 3 last time, but number 3 is seeking out professional help to help change your life.
Okay. Josie, I see you had your hand raised. You put it down now. Patrick's asking, how long is the fast?
So I did it for 7 days. You have an option to do it longer, but for me, I because I dedicated, I knew the power of chakra. So I specifically added other factors into my fast. So like in the book, I did that on top of like other things because my spirit just called me to do it. And I knew that I was going to have to help people get through what I went through. So I did like create journals and vlog my experience as well.
Excellent. All right, we've got a hand raised. Bianca, if you can unmute your mic. Bianca, you've got your hand raised. Can you unmute? No? Okay. All right. So I think Jamesia has put it in there. Oh, let me copy in.
I don't have everyone. I don't know why it's going just to panelists.
But... Oh, my sister just posted it. So everyone's got it now. Bianca, do you want to ask your question? I saw you. No? Last chance, Bianca.
Sorry, I put my hand on accident. Sorry.
All right. No worries. No worries. All right. Thank you very much, Jamesia. Jamesia will be staying around if you guys have any questions later. Thank you for your powerful story. Thank you for sharing your love. Thank you very much. All right. Now over to my last special guest. Yes, show your ones for Jamesia. Over to my last special guest. He's becoming a favorite on this platform. We are now going to Sahu Shen, and he's going to be breaking down the endocannabinoid system. This is very powerful, and what's interesting is it's going to relate to both of the panelists' presentations. So Charles was talking about CBD oil. That relates to the endocannabinoid system. Jamesia was talking about our sexual hormones like estrogen and testosterone, and our hormones, our stress hormone like cortisol. All of that is related to the endocannabinoid system. Very powerful stuff. So without further ado, over to you, my brother.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you again. Well, thank you everybody from the Hidden Science Academy for having me again. I was going to expand all what we've been talking about today and really try to put it all together, you know, in a nice little bundle. As Leon said, it's amazing. Between the discussion, because I was in and out of hearing both talks, or between the discussion of CBD oil and then doing yoga, this all comes under what I'm going to talk about. So I'm just going to share my screen. Let's see where this one is there. Yeah, and just start from the beginning. Let's say take it from the top. Okay, so the endocannabinoid system is what we've been talking about. However, there's something that because endocannabinoid system is like 30 years research has been gone into it relating to THC, most recently CBD, and how that affects the body. Yeah, a good 30 years of research gone into it. But along the way, in the last 10 years or so, 15 years, they found other aspects of this system, is what I'm going to cover today. So when you incorporate the ability to use supplements or direct marijuana, cannabis, that stimulates what has been well documented, this endocannabinoid system. What also happens if you practice, like, let's say, yoga, what was just discussed a moment ago, that also stimulates the endocannabinoid system. So we are able to access it through exercise, through diet, and through psychotropic plants, let's say. So the endocannabinoid system is responsible for all of this stuff here. The balancing of one's heart, the lungs, balancing of the whole homeostasis throughout the whole body. So what I've done here, I've kind of like tried to make it into a simple little chart going on here. Try to make it a little bit more, yeah, straightforward. So we have the endocannabinoids, anandamide. Let's call that AEA for now. And the other one, the glycerol 2 arachidonide glycerol. Listen, I'm not really going to go too deep with the pronunciations of these terms. I'm just going to use the brackets just to make it a bit easier. But those endocannabinoids, as well as, yeah, my connection okay? Are stimulated by what we have in the middle here, cytocannabinoids, which is the THC. And you can, as Charles described really well, and the CBD. So those stuff in the center, they bind to the cannabinoid binding receptors. And we have binding receptors throughout the whole body. Anandamide is generated in the brain, and the rest of the CBD and CBC, CBG, and the other ones are generally throughout the whole system. And they stimulate the CB receptor 2. You got 1 and 2. So, because this stuff is a lot of information here, and it just gets me really excited. The implications of what I'm going to describe and how we access a system internally, how we experience stuff, how we go through stages of happiness, bliss, satisfaction, ability to reduce anxiety, fear, worry. We go through all these processes and we attribute it to individual things that we experience, not knowing there's a system in our body that governs all of that. Just like how the circulatory system governs blood. The nervous system governs the way in which the nerves function, operate, the lymphatic system. Well, now we have the endocannabinoid system that governs stress, pain, and all the lovely things that come along with it, inflammation. So the anandamide, this AEA, anandamide, is what now they term or call the bliss molecule. So it must have been about, I don't know, 20 years ago, early 90s, when they discovered this anandamide, and it took the whole world by storm. It's like finding the needle in the haystack, because they were trying to see what is it that THC creates in the body that makes one feel that way. What is the neurotransmitter that is secreted from the brain that is stimulated directly from THC? What is it? And that was anandamide. But we find now that anandamide can be stimulated without THC. Anandamide can be stimulated without the use of CBD oil, without the use of hemp. And this is the endocannabinoid dome. When you start to incorporate the non-endocannabinoids into the mix. So at the far end, we have like these two main ones. The N-acetylamine, the NAEs, they're like a very big group. And there's a lot of research done into that. The one beneath it, the two mags, the monoacylglycerol, excuse my bad French or English there. There were the two mags. There's not as much research when you go into it. So the information is a bit more, and it's like maybe the last 5 years, they really be going into the other one. And the bottom one stimulates other receptors. So what we've got going on here, we have the living a certain lifestyle creates non-endocannabinoids, which are in the same group as the endocannabinoids that we already are aware of. They're just non-endocannabinoids, which means that they just have an additional molecule missing from this, because you know how hormones, enzymes, amino acids, they're all just linking chains upon each other. And all this takes place. So with our endocannabinoid system, we have our receptors throughout the whole body, brain, connective tissue, the glands, immune cells. Wow, this thing is everywhere. No cell misses a receptor. No nerve misses a receptor. Imagine that. You have every single cell in the body and every single nerve in the body has an endocannabinoid receptor ready to do its work. And oh gosh, as our body creates all these things naturally, we are trying our best through lifestyle to stimulate these things. So when we're utilizing THC, CBD oil, you know, with a high percentage in it, then you're really doing and stimulating CBD1, CB1, CB2. And you can see on this graph here where CB1 and 2 are located. Again, CB1 is really linked again with anandamide, and that creates in the brain and goes throughout the whole body. These other ones that I've put in these encased here are the non-endocannabinoid receptors. And it shows where throughout the whole body, we have non-endocannabinoid receptors located. And it's just as vast as the well investigated CB distribution, CB1 and 2 distribution. So this is the general layout of our system, how everything's activated. So it is far easier to describe the way in which cannabinoids, the receptors receive information and how it fires and how it contains. The cell is a whole different experience. When we're just going to, because it seemed like, as this has been well researched, the information is really easy to come across and really easy to understand. Because of this non-endocannabinoid system is more recent, there's not as much research and information. I would say a lot of it is, some of the things that my brain's thinking to ask questions about, I would assume they're actually researching now and looking into it, like these last 5 years, and a lot of the stuff should be revealed on the non-endocannabinoid aspect of the endocannabinoid system. So the, let's say, the endocannabinoid system works through what we call retrograde signaling signals. So what happens, let's say it's going along the, let's say it's going along the bottom nerve, because this is the image on the left-hand side is a synapse. and then you're seeing an image of two synapses or two nerves coming together. The signal is sent, let's say, along the bottom aspect of this nerve. So on the bottom one, the nerve is sending a signal along, and this is in relation to pain and discomfort. So it's sent a signal, and what happens, it goes to the other nerve, and then the nerve receives the signal of pain. If there's cannabinoids or THC in the bloodstream, what happens, it activates the receptors on the other side of the nerve, then it sends a signal back to the nerve that sent the signal in the first place and says, switch it off. That's how simple it is. It does a retrograde movement. It goes backward to switch the nerve that sent the information in the first place. Again, the body's remarkable, going backwards to resolve it, as opposed to having to go all the way to the brain. It just goes to the synapse, sorry, the nerve that sent the information and switches it off from there. So that's easy to explain, really. It's quite straightforward because that's a nerve signal sent along the nerve, jumps to the other nerve, then a signal goes back to the pre-nerve and says, okay, lock off that system there, we're all right. But when it comes to the non-endocannabinoid signaling system, how it stimulates and gets information to throughout the body, how it actually activates the system, it's all done in the cell, extracellular, well, on the cell membrane and within the cell. So that's why I can say clearly that the non-endocannabinoid system is in every cell of the body, and the nerves, again, are in every, the cannabinoid system, again, is in every aspect of the body called the nerves. So I was going to touch this briefly because, as I was saying, that this this one, yeah, it's like it's a lot. It's just, as I was saying, the lower section is not much research, but it all happens within the lysosome, which is within the cell itself. That cell has a huge turnover of fatty and amino acids within that space. So it's able to, from within that space, link, capture, reform, and send out a whole new element. So there's going to be loads of research in relation to this lower section, but the upper part is quite straightforward, because this NAEs is a whole group which actually also incorporates THC and CBD. But it's just, as we said, it's just that there are pieces missing from the link that doesn't make it a full cannabinoid. It makes it a non-cannabinoid because of just one aspect of it. And they are activated, some are activated within the endoplasmic reticulum as well. That's the side I want to touch for a minute because it's dealing more with pain and the release of anandamide throughout the bloodstream. Inhibitors, they're, as it deals with, also deals with pain and anti-inflammatory, but again, that system is, this information, it's very complex when you're breaking it down. And that's the problem. You know, I received a book that gave me a huge insight to all this information, which I would suggest, if you're really interested in taking it further, this book it's called The Endocannabinoid Dome. But when you're going through this book here, like you're looking at this particular section, trying to understand how does it work, what takes place, it's just quite complicated. So this is the best I've been able to reduce it down to simplicity. That we have these inhibitors that are either in the endoplasmic reticulum or in the ribosome. And between these two, these amino acids, these enzymes are being produced to be distributed. What's distributed is what I've marked on the left and the right, where you got OEA, PEA, and LEA, abbreviated. And yeah, these are all elements that we do experience in our everyday life. So the OEA is something that we actually experience through olive oil. is within this. And olive oil has huge health implications and benefits that for ages we've been saying our olive oil reduces inflammation. But how does olive oil reduce inflammation? How does it reduce stress? Well, because it activates the endocannabinoid system by being a non-endocannabinoid. And it seems like we're just filled with this experience. So the endocannabinoid system now, just a quick recap, is now has an umbrella term called the endocannabinoid dome. Within the endocannabinoid dome, you have the two aspects, cannabinoids and non-endocannabinoids. The non-endocannabinoids, when you go into that area, now it's called cannabinomimetics. So now we're going into cannabinomimetics, cannabinoids that affect the body through food. And the main thing, which probably is probably common sense, is the essential fatty acids. The essential fatty acids of omega-3 and 6. If you've done Leon's course on holistic health, and I would say you should have a really good understanding about the body and about different elements within the body and the balance of this. So it is important to have a ratio, a balance between your omega-3 and your omega-6. It seems as if excessive amounts of omega-6 intake, so if you take a lot of hemp seeds, for example, hemp seeds have a higher amount of omega-6 in it. So then you're going to have you're going to a degree, reduce the output of your cannabinoid system, because the omega-6 past a certain threshold, counterproductive. Omega-3 balances out these omega-6s and makes and activates or reactivates your cannabinoid system. So let's say you have hemp seeds, then mixing it with, let's say, chia seeds, the mixture of the two of them together will enhance the amount of will enhance the use of the hemp seeds, and then it will improve your omega-3 intake. And as a result of that, that will again have a direct effect on boosting your anandamide in your bloodstream. Because when you stimulate a non-endocannabinoid, it has an ability to stimulate your cannabinoid system as well. So then you stimulate your non-endocannabinoid system by eating foods that are of a omega-3 quality, let's say. And as you do that, then you start to, then you start to balance out your endocannabinoid system. So that's just explaining. We've got the flax seeds. They've done a lot of research with flax seeds, and there is a very high concentration of omega-3 in our flax seeds. So this research showed that the major findings from this controlled study is that circulating these NAEs, what I've been talking about, concentration, they modulate by the type of dietary fat consumed in the human body. So then if you're eating certain foods of dietary fats, then you're increasing your concentration of endocannabinoids in the system. And then this OEA that I mentioned a moment ago has its anti-inflammatory properties, but you get this from certain oils, and all these oils who are high in monosaturated fats will offer you OEA. I mean, the research that I was just looking at was talking about this cannella oil. It's one in the center. And they've done a lot of research with that particular oil, found that it increases the effects of the cannabinoid system. This just shows the percentage of these different oils. And if you go further down on the left, 65 to 80% is the oil that they was practicing with to determine that it has a huge effect on reducing inflammation and pain. But all of these have it. Olive oil, 75% of this oleic acid is what we're looking at here. The same as walnuts, if you're able to eat that. And chocolate has an amazing effect. See, chocolate, preferably dark, has a way to stimulate the endocannabinoid system. But it seems like it inhibits those elements that want to break down or stop the process. So those things that want to stop the process of your endocannabinoid system, chocolate deals with them and gives you an opportunity to actually activate the system. It's not so that it stimulates the system directly itself, but more indirectly. And there are loads of raw chocolate with this conscious variety on the top right. I do enjoy that one myself. And you got loads of herbs and spices. I'll have a few minutes. This here are the type of herbs that really, again, increase your endocannabinoid system. Oregano, black pepper, hops, basil, clove. I mean, black pepper seems to have a tremendous effect on turmeric. So turmeric, as we know, has a wonderful effect, but it's a cumin in other turmeric that has this endocannabinoid effect, as well as echinacea, again, has a wonderful effect. However, drinking good old-fashioned tea, if it's made from this plant here, inhibits the cannabinoid system. So good old-fashioned tea everyday drinking, shut that down. Not good for you. Same as alcohol, shut it down. You know they advise moderately drinking. Plastics or eating food that are not organic, again, because of the pesticides, had a direct effect on the cannabinoid system. Again, shuts it down. And this is the last section. Hopefully I've got enough time. It should take me about a minute or so. Canalometrics through activity. So the way it works is that from an activity, because you can read that there, from an activity is enjoyable to you and it brings you some joy, some happiness, makes you feel this inner peace, then you're activating the cannabinoid system. Literally come at any activity. So as the last slide, these are the list of activities that once engaging in, and it's not like you're being forced against your will, then you have a huge effect. But the one thing that I want to mention is massage. Man, they found that there is 165% increase of an anandamide in the bloodstream from a treatment, from massage. That means you will feel less stressed, less anxiety, more at peace, more oneness, more connectedness from a massage. Man, there's so much stuff going on in this endocannabinoid system, the way it just we're just trying to balance it all, Leon. What can I say? I'm like,
people, put your ones in the chat, please. That was ridiculous. Everyone, put your ones in the chat. Show some love for Sahu. Breaking down the endocannabinoid system, like I put in the chat. This is one of the most important systems in your body, and you've never heard of it.
Never.
Why do you think you've never heard of the endocannabinoid system? And big up Anne-Marie, she was saying, it sounds complex, but you're making it so simple, and she can't wait for the pain relief course. So big up all the people who are booking onto the pain relief course. I see you coming through. Book onto the pain relief course. Remember, if you're a member of the academy, if you're a VIP member, not a free member, if you're a VIP member, subscribing either monthly or yearly, you get the course for free. And like Sahu just said, when after massage, what percentage was it?
165%.
165%, your endocannabinoid receptors get activated from 165%. People, we need to understand how powerful the endocannabinoid system is, yeah? There's a system in our body. Listen,
you know the same.
Go on.
And turmeric and black pepper mixed together. They said, I think it's something like 6,000 or something % increase in absorption of turmeric into the bloodstream to stimulate.
I heard that as well. I heard that turmeric, even though it's anti-inflammatory, it helps with pain. If you don't combine it with black pepper, the body can't really absorb it. Yeah. So all the people taking turmeric, just keep that in mind, yeah? But can you imagine, everyone, please, there is some questions, but before we go to the questions, just think, Sahu just broke down arguably the most important system in your body and no one's heard of it. Why do you think no one's heard of the endocannabinoid system? It's a system that kind of acts like cannabis, and not marijuana, not weed, but cannabis. It gives you a high. So Sahu just went through all the activities where this natural high, not from a plant, just this endo, because endo means inside, this system inside of you can give you a natural high. And Sahu went through some things that give you the natural high, like yoga, meditation, exercise, Tai Chi. And he said all of these activities. And I did some research, yeah? And do you know that the endocannabinoids in your body go up by 42% in response to singing and dancing? 42% in regards to singing and dancing. And you wonder why black people were always singing and dancing.
I'm telling you.
Natural high, you know, from our endocannabinoid system. Why do you think they're not teaching us about this system that can be activated with the cannabis plant and other phytocannabinoid plants? But with that being said, I see some hands raised. Sade, you had your hand raised. Do you want to unmute your mic and ask your question? If not, Tony, I see you've got your hand raised. You can unmute your mic and ask your question. If not, I can see Catherine. So I've got a couple people. You can unmute your mic. I'm going to give you a couple seconds or I'm going to move on. And it looks like Anthony's raised his hand as well. So Anthony. Who's that? Anyone going to ask? Tony, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, I don't have a question per se, but I found it really interesting. Yeah. And I've studied the endocannabinoid system. And as I said, it goes further because in the treatment of cancer.
Yeah.
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 So
yeah.
Yes, it goes further in regards to the treatment of cancer and pain relief.
That's right. That is right. This is a very powerful system. Thank you for that, sis. Anyone else? Let me see. All right. There was some other hands raised, but they're not unmuting their mic, so they might have accidentally. Let me lower everyone's hands. So if you want to raise your hand now, then you can. Let me just see. We're talking.
I know that's a lot of information to take on, and because it's additional information to what was originally thought as something that we knew.
Yeah.
And this is how it is. We didn't even know that you could just go to the park, sit down and absorb the sunlight and take a deep breath in and out. And no one forced you to be in that situation. You're there through free will. Yeah. And you're in a peaceful place that you stimulate the system and you feel
stimulate the system.
Within.
And it's a natural high. Like you said, the anandamide cannabinoid is, they call that the bliss molecule. The bliss molecule. That's what gives you the natural high. Sue's asking, can you repeat the turmeric knowledge you just dropped?
Yeah. So the turmeric, we go back to that one there. So you can just also read that. It's this how you pronounce that word, Elian? That curcumin?
Curcumin.
Yeah. Well, that is the research. Between that one there and this perpetrin, these two elements that are found within the turmeric, is this which is actually stimulating the endocannabinoid system. But it seems like our body isn't able to uptake the turmeric to have all these wonderful effects on the right. On the other side of the screen, we don't naturally, we need something to allow it to enter into our system, our bloodstream, to have the full uptake. And that would be the black pepper. Yeah. And they call it a bioavailability enhancement. The black pepper. So the black pepper enhances the turmeric, the light to absorb.
And another thing there, if we enhance our endocannabinoid system, and then you're using say things like CBD, because your endocannabinoid system is enhanced, then that means that the cannabinoids will latch on to them within the body and find them easier, which means that you may get a better response from the CBD.
Yeah. Because it will increase the what do you call it, the feedback loop.
Yeah.
Remember, it's a retrograde system of the nerve sending the, they will just increase that. And as you're doing the non-endocannabinoid stuff, then that activates the cannabinoid system. You're taking the CBD oil, which has already activated the cannabinoid system. So everything is just.
We've got a question here, Elaine, or a comment, or?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how much black pepper you would add.
Right.
That's a good point. And I would say that must be in relation to how much turmeric you're adding. But I never saw in the research, because that's what, they never said the quantity. But thank you for bringing that attention.
Yeah, we need to look into that. Thank you, sis.
Yeah.
So before we move on, people, let me show you something actually. And I only found this out either yesterday or the day before. It might have been yesterday. Do you know how they found out about the endocannabinoid system? Remember, I keep on stressing it. There's a system in your body that literally controls your nervous system, controls the way your heart functions, controls your brain, and no one's heard about this endocannabinoid system, and gives you natural highs, controls your hormones, literally controls your homeostasis, like literally controls every part of your body, and no one's heard about this. And it gives you that natural high, you know, when you're dancing, you know, when you're singing, doing all the things that Black people do, playing drums, doing all out in the sun, all that stuff are natural high, and no one's heard about it. You know how they found out about it? Let me show you this. This is gonna blow you away. I found this out, I think yesterday or the day before. Yeah, yesterday or the day before. Now you guys, you know me, I always show my research, I always show my evidence, yeah? So this is from Jet Magazine. Obviously Jet Magazine, they're not doing issues anymore, but this was from, can everyone see that? So who, can you see the date there?
That's it, 1986.
1986, yeah? Jet Magazine, this was, I don't know what issue this was, but if anyone's got this issue, please, if anyone's got this issue, please, 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 get it from, like, send it to me. I will pay for this issue, yeah? 19th of May, 1986. Check this out. This was an article in the Jet Magazine, 19th of May, 1986. So here's a chemist called James Woodford. What does he say? He says he has investigated several cases where Blacks may have been falsely accused of abusing marijuana. Abusing marijuana. They go on to say, scientists reveals Blacks who fail marijuana tests could prove drug-free. Why? Why? How come I can, you know, take a marijuana test and test positive and I don't smoke weed? They say it's to do with your melanin. Your melanin, what does it say here? Furthermore, melanin actually soaks up chemical compounds similar to THC. You know what they're talking about? Your endocannabinoid system. That's what, when they say soaks up chemical compounds similar to THC, they're talking about anandamide.
Yeah.
Do you know how, when I read this, it blew my mind. Do you know how many Black people are in jail right now for marijuana? And Black people do smoke it, but can you imagine? There's probably Black people in jail and you probably didn't even touch the stuff. You failed the marijuana test. And then people are like, how did that happen? I don't know. This is why we need to learn our health from a Black perspective, people. Book onto the Black Holistic Health course. This is why we need to learn our health. That's the reason why they found out about the endocannabinoid system. They were like, why are these Black people failing these tests, but they don't smoke weed? So then they started to do a bit of research, and then they found out there's some chemical compounds in Black people, it's in everyone, but in Black people, that is very similar to the cannabis plant, to THC, and to these other things. What is the date of the magazine? Let me show you the date. Let me show it to you again. If anyone's got the physical copy, because I know we used to, you know what I mean? We used to buy Jet Magazine back in the day. 19th of May, 1986. And here's, let me click on the front cover so you can see the front cover. If anyone has got this Jet magazine.
Remember my man.
Yeah. If anyone's got that, please let me know, man. Because you can't find this on the internet. Like, type in melanin and weed and they won't tell you the connection there. They won't tell you the connection there. And the connection is not to take weed, because we don't need it. The whole point of the endocannabinoid system is we've got a system internally that gives us that natural high. But guess what? If you're not doing the things that activate your endocannabinoid system, like singing, dancing, massage, Tai Chi, yoga, meditating, being outside, hugging your friends, talking, socializing, if you're not doing those things, you're gonna start to go into depression. The sis Jamesia was talking about, she knows depression, like depression was her best friend. How many of us can relate to that, where you're not doing the things that you would naturally get high on, and it leads to depression? Yeah, natural high just from doing the stuff you love activates your endocannabinoid system. And check this out, if you're not doing those things, yeah, and then you do smoke weed, it's gonna give you the same effect. So then you go to the weed, instead of knowing that you've got this endocannabinoid system, which naturally gives you a high, you're gonna go to that thing that gives you a high. And you wonder why there's this connection between Black people and weed. Yeah. This endocannabinoid system, no one's talking about it. All right, I see a question or comment. Is it Opal? You can unmute your mic and ask your question or comment.
Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, yes, I just wanted to know, how does this, or if there's any connection with what's called the vagus nerve?
Yeah.
Which is a nerve that wanders around your whole entire body.
Do you know what? There's going to be a connection, because that connects from your stomach to your brain. And a lot of the hormones that are associated with the brain are actually produced in your gut. So for example, they'll tell us that, serotonin and melatonin is produced by the pineal gland. Yeah. So they'll talk about, especially Black people, pineal gland, your third eye, open up your third eye, pineal gland, this, that, and the other, serotonin and melatonin. Now, melatonin comes from serotonin, and 70, some people say 80 and above % of serotonin is made in your gut and then travels up the vagus nerve. Now, again, like what Sahu was saying, every single one of your cells, not some, not most, every single one of your cells has endocannabinoid receptors. So that means every single one of your cells relies on the endocannabinoid system. That's from your gut to your brain and everything in between.
Yeah, I think I'll just add a little bit to that. As you're talking about the serotonin coming up the vagus nerve, I'm not sure if dopamine does the same too, but there is also an N-acetyl serotonin amine or something, which is a non-endocannabinoid, which is serotonin derived, which I would assume, I'm unsure, but I would assume it's created in the gut, like what Lee was talking about, and travels up, as well as you have a dopamine one as well. But also, you because the vagus creates a parasympathetic effect on organs throughout the body that it passes by, so it calms down the system, then the endocannabinoid also calms down the system. So I think it's via these nerves are stimulating the cells and both way. Yeah. So there has to be a two-way connection with that one there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, sis. Thanks for that. There's no other raised hands, but junk food does not help. Yeah, junk food definitely does not help our endocannabinoid system, boy.
Yeah, it looks like it shuts it down.
Shuts it down. Yeah.
Good old-fashioned.
I tell you what else shuts it down. I don't want this webinar to get shut down, but I tell you what else shuts it down. Social distancing.
Yeah.
Wearing masks. not being able to see your loved ones, not being able to go outside, all of that shuts down the endocannabinoid.
A direct attack of the endocannabinoid system. That's a direct.
Right. All right, to finish up, people, let me just share my screen and tell you what the Hidden Science Academy's got coming up. There are some questions in the chat. So Sahu and Charles, if there's any directed to you, if you can answer them. But let me just finish up right now. So remember, people, we've got some very, very powerful webinars coming up. So my sister will post a link to her books if anyone's interested in buying the book. So she's got 2 books on Amazon. Very powerful books. And if you want to follow us on social media, we've got a small social media team that take care of our Instagram and our Facebook. So that's at the Hidden Science Academy or the Hidden Science Academy on Facebook. You can follow us there. If you want to check out some of our previous lectures, previous events, previous videos, go to vimeo.com/the Hidden Science Academy. You can come follow me if you like at the Hidden Science, at the Scientist Online. That's my handle on Instagram. At the Scientist Online, if you want to come and follow me, and I'll keep you up to date with everything that we've got coming up. Remember, this is monthly, people. So the Hidden Science of Black Holistic Health. If you enjoyed this one, let your people know, let your friends and family know. This is free information we're giving away every month. The 16th of every month, we give away this free information. You can ask any question every single month. I bring on various different guests and they speak about their story, speak about holistic health from their perspective, and you get powerful, powerful information for free. But remember, we put this on to promote our Hidden Science of Black Holistic Health course, which if you're a VIP member on our site, you get for free. Tomorrow, people, the Hidden Science of White Supremacy. I said this at the beginning and I'll reiterate it. I think tomorrow's webinar is going to be the most revealing webinar on racism in the UK ever. Now, I know that's a tall order, but I don't think anyone's going to be breaking down. I've never seen anyone break down the language of white supremacy, the language. And I know we get viewers from all over the world, but if you're listening from the UK, you know about the language. If you're listening from the UK, you've seen it in the newspapers, the way they talk about us. You've seen it on TV with Piers Morgan and all these other people. I'm going to be breaking down the language of racism tomorrow. So book onto that. My sister will post a link in the chat. You don't want to miss that. Trust me. The Hidden Science of White Supremacy free webinar. Understand how they speak, understand certain words that they use, understand certain language patterns that they use to trigger emotions in you. Trust me, this is going to be a very revealing lecture. Don't miss that. That's tomorrow at 8 p.m. Tomorrow at 8 p.m.